Here we go with episode 4 of Orb on the movements of the Earth. This story is pretty nice. I can't wait to see what's going to happen, especially after Raffles' death. So let's watch it together. This is the new boy. Okay. No, wait. Is this Raffles' father? Nice question. It's pointless. Ah. That's the perfect excuse, huh? Yeah. No, no, this is the new boy. Okay, no, I thought for a second that it was Rafa's father thinking about his past. Oxy. Okay. Why? Why doesn't he want to look up? But is Oxy a thief? They seem thieves. Ah, no, okay. But what are they going to do? Oh. Oh. So Oxy is a peasant. Here we go. The fear of death. Ooh. No, I have yeah. This fear of death takes you to corruption anyway. But this is Oxy. Oh. Yeah, he was commissioned to do that. Burn in hell, right? Mm. Yeah, but probably Oxy doesn't believe in the church, so he doesn't believe in hell too. But he doesn't even like this job, of course. Nah. Mm. Mm. No, of course. Sure, because you killed them. See, this was the fear that the church was working on. Yeah, because people don't enjoy as much as they want because of these constrictions. I'll tell him. I mean, say what you want to say. Ah, this is of course. But this is not true. No, Oxy, no. I think you missed the point. Mm, yeah, that's wrong. Mm. Okay, what did you find? Mm. Oh no, if you start drinking, no, that's wrong. No. But this is a little bit like Rafal, I mean, to pretend to know what to say and to pretend to play a role in front of others, but I hope it's not drinking, you know? Oh! Oh! Okay. Yeah.
だがある時だ。何の気なしに星を眺めていたら驚愕の事実に気づいた。なんと空には固定された星座の中を動く星もあるのだ。一晩での動きは非常にわずかだ。しかし数日単位で見れば位置がはっきり変わってる。興味を持った私は
Oh, good
小
job.
さなに消え
No, you asked the wrong person.
惑星と呼ばれ、
But
さらに
actually, he
大き
said
く
it's
あるのでし
planets.
た。私が見つけたのはその中で最も動きがわかりやすく炎のように赤く輝く火星だ。それから私は火星の軌跡を記録することにした。
Okay.
するとどうだろう。火星は円を描くように星座を巡って動くではないか。1ヶ月、半年、1年、ブレずに迷わずに常に円の形にのっとった軌道だ。揺れる草、流れる川、揺らめく火、自然界に動くもの数あれどこれほどまで規則正しく動くものはない。まさに完璧だ。そして気づいたのだ。確かにこの地は汚れていて無秩序だ。ほうきにして完璧なる空には届きもしない。
Yeah.
しかし私たちにも完璧を見ることはできるではないか。人は完璧を認識できる。しかも太陽と違い火星は直視可能
Okay,
だ。
and even
この地
Mars
球
is
儀
not
完璧な
perfect,
観
huh?
測の特等席。そう考えたら人も地球も捨てたものじゃない。今やこれによりこの世の全てを肯定できる。そして2年越しの観測の末、そろそろ火星軌道が一周し輪を閉じる。もうじき大団円を迎えるのだ。すげえ。なかなかこじつけ解釈じゃ。なかなかこじつけ解釈だね。たくましいとも言えるか。火星軌道の完璧な円環だって。さすが下級市民の無教養ぶりは羨ましい。先ほどから絡んでいただいて申し訳ないが、私の感動はどうしようと
Wait,
も
but
ない。
that man.
いやいや、邪魔して悪かったね。せいぜい楽しんでくれよ。しかし、観測を始めた時期が悪かった。じゃなきゃ、もっと前に気づけたのに。
Look, I have a feeling. Can I say it? This man is not Rafael, right? I mean, that blonde hair man.
毎日、毎日、2年間動いてたんだ。それがここ最近、移動速度が随分遅く
See,
なってき
because
た。
he's making a mistake, but the other man was sure about what he was saying.
昨日から全く動いていない。
Don't tell me that's Rafael, that man.
2年かけて、やっと完成を迎える直前で。
No.
なぜ
He also said to them that it was too late to start this investigation, let's say.
今の前が。ああ、いえ、これからです。しかし大変だな。グラスみたいな変人と組まされちまって。いえ、いつも前向きな方ですよ。前向きだからだけか。グラスはな、昔はもっと普通なやつだったんだ。愚痴なんかもよく言ってな。それがある時、疫病で家族みんな亡くしちまった。さらにだ、絶望して自分の人生も終わらせようとしやがった。そんな悲劇が。一番の悲劇はそこで死にきれなかったことさ。その罪は教会で許してもらったが、正直本人は死にきれなくて悔やんでたよ。これが私の運命なのかって。だが、ここ1、2年で唐突に明るくなり始めた。わけを聞いたら、
He got the
あの
second
人を
chance.
あれは天国からの家族のメッセージだとか言ってな。気ぃつけろよ。そういう不安定なのは急に何するかわかんねえぞ。月とか夢とか希望とか、そういうものは捨てちゃダメだ。曲がった。
Yeah, now he feels a failure because he thinks that he wasted the 2 years for nothing. But I don't agree because at least he found something in which he was interested in. No, no. But I wanted to know more about that man. Look, now I created my expectations on him.
ああ、じゃあ行こうか。今日は観測なしですか？ああね。君の言う通り、天国を差し置いて、この世界に何かを期待する。
Why do you give up so easily? Just because the things didn't go as you wanted.
珍しいな。異端者の移送警備か。異端者？悪魔と通じているかもしれん。用心しろよ。民間警備組合のものか。異端審問官のダミアンだ。民間警備組合が到着しました。我々も行きましょう。ノバブさん。何見てるんです？お守り。だるい仕事が始まるか。
Yeah, because now 10 years went on, so we needed to understand the context.
これから死ぬ異端者に見られても何も困らん。そうか。それにしても雨と雨。空が見えんのはいかん。君らは空に興味はないか？星を眺めるのは心よいぞ。我々はあなたと話してはいけない決まりになっている。黙ってていただけますか？断ったら殴られるのか？いや、正直かわ
Oh,
い
but
そう
there
だ。
were lots of people who had the intention of
人類を救済する教会に反感が。
discover the sky
なぜ自ら
more.
天国に行けなくなるようなことをするのか。気の毒ですが、あなたの死刑は免れない。ですが、今からでも考え直して回収したらどうですか？
No, he will never do that.
慈悲深いね。だが君らこそ一度考え直してみ
Yeah,
ないか？
yeah.
教会が本当に君らを救う。
No, not at all.
彼らの言う天国など本当に存在するのか？
They also don't know, or they know but they don't want to tell you.
そういう君らは一体何を考えてい
Mm.
るのだ？君らはこの世の絶望から目を覚
Yeah,
ますためにあるかもわからぬ天国に逃げてるだけじゃないか。
totally agreed with
貴
this.
様の狙いは分かっている。そうやって不安を煽り、我々を絶望へと突き放したい。
No, no, totally the contrary.
君らが絶望を突き放している。
Yeah.
2000年前、アテナイの老人が毒肺を煽った惨事から今の哲学が生まれた。1500年前、一人の青年が貼り付けにされた
Yeah.
運命が今の教会を形
Yes.
人は悲劇を肥やし、時に新たな希望を生み出す。その足の木の慰めなるか、現実を変えやしない。だが、真から湧き出た苦悩は、煮詰められた挫折は、あるいは君の絶望は、希望に転化しうるのだ。なのに君らは絶望に目を塞ぎ、誰かがくれた死後の保証付きの人生を生きている。そんな人間に希望など訪れない。
I totally agree with these.
黙っていればたわごとなのに何も知らないね。
You too. You don't know anything, you too, so.
異端か。
Mm.
君がそう呼ばれるものをなぜ恐れるかよくわかるぞ。私のことが理解でき
Yes.
るだからではない。
It's because you don't want to admit it that he's
君自身
true.
が心の底で
Yes!
を信じている
Yes!
からだ。勝手なことを言わないでください。
You try to convince yourself that you believe in that.
ただ死んで終わりかも。
But we don't know that, sincerely.
不安になるのはよくわかる。死後の予定が揺らぐのは辛いだろう。黙ってください。しかし
This is true. Yes. It's too hard to accept it. Yeah, that's the point. Yes, that is the point. Yeah. Oh, which one? That's where Raphael put the. That's why they go to find it. You should risk, because you will try to find something else, a new vision. And in fact, now they go, right? This was a powerful episode, because of everything that was said. I totally agree with what the last man said. There are so many things to talk about, because this episode was full of important sentences. We human beings have followed the church for so many years. And the church was always telling us that there was a place after death, that we could have been accepted because of our good actions, that is, heaven. And there is another place where we are accepted if we do cruel things, wrong things, that it's called hell. And the church established some rules that you had to follow in order to go to heaven or in order to go to hell. But my question is, who are they to decide what we can do and what we can't do? Where is the limit that we can't cross in order to go to heaven? Let's say that even when you read the Bible and you read the Testaments, I mean, the commandments that Moses received, anyway, the Bible, no matter what we think, was written by people. I mean, we don't know who wrote the Old Testament. For the moment, we know that it's written. So if it's written, it means that it was written by somebody. And who tells me that this Bible was not written by God, but was written by man? And if the Bible was written by man, it means that everything we followed so far is a pure lie. I mean, it's something that was created so that people would have followed all these and would have been brainwashed to believe that they have to follow these rules. If you want to go to heaven, you have to do this. Otherwise, you will go to hell. We are born in a society where we are already ruled, and we have to follow some rules based on society, not just a religion, But if there is even a religion involved, these rules are so many, and your life is not lived at the fullest. It's lived based on these impositions. So, are we truly ourselves when we live our lives, or are we just following those rules to feel good I mean, to feel that we are doing the right thing. And I totally agree with what's said in these episodes, because we always think about what's after life. I mean, some people live their lives based on what's after death. They don't live their life as if it should be, because they are following these impositions. So they don't give actually the importance of life, the importance that life has for real while they live it, because they think already about the future. So these people, are they living their lives for real or not? In my opinion, they are not living it. They are just submitting their lives to these rules for something they don't even know if it exists or not. I mean, we don't know if heaven or hell exists, right? But we already feel presumptuous to believe that it exists. So we have to modify our concepts and our life itself based on these rules, because we hope that we go to heaven and we don't go to hell. And to me, this is completely ridiculous. I think that the people who established the church found the proper way to trick us completely. They found the perfect way to gain a lot of money, to gain a lot of power, to trick us. Because the church is an institution, and this institution can go on until people will believe what they say. If people stop believing in what they say, all the money, all the power, all the status will fade away. So 2000 years ago, they thought, let me invent, let me create this based on this man who was crucified, that is Jesus Christ, of course, and let's create all these narrative, all these narration that can help us to give people faith, to give people the hope that if they live the life as we wanted, we can grant them a beautiful place, an imaginary place called heaven. At the same time, we make them believe that we have to live a miserable life, we have to repent ourselves, we are sinful. Yeah, as it's said in this episode, we have to believe the fact that we live in a sinful world, a world that doesn't deserve anything, because what's more important is after. This is ridiculous. I mean, we don't even pay attention on what's around us. We don't understand how beautiful is what's surrounding us, because what we really think is always, what's after? After death, I have to be perfect. I don't have to say anything bad. I don't have to do anything that in the Bible it's written that it's condemning, because otherwise I will go to hell. There are people who believe in God, and I respect them. But at the same time, I don't want to believe in a God that gives us rules, I mean, if we are sons and daughters of God and we are sinful, does this mean that even God is sinful? We will never know. I mean, if you read the Bible correctly, I don't think even God as it is called Yahweh or Yahweh, was a good God. If you call him God, I think people should read the Bible better, and they should understand what they read. There are many books of the Bible missing from the main construction of the Bible. And there are so many mysteries around these. So I think before believing into something, you should feel sure about what you believe in. Because if you put your life into all these things, like religions, cults, and all these kind of things, I think you miss the point. You don't live your life at the fullest. And that's a waste. That's a waste of time. that's a waste of thinking, that's a waste of curiosity. Yeah, Raphael in this story was very curious, and that's what made him great, in my opinion. And the church, as I told you in the previous episode, doesn't want to make you feel curious about anything, because if you're curious, you're gonna discover some things that are going to dismantle what they preach. And the problem is that if everybody understands that this is just a book, and this is not something important or something that you should devote your life to, then everything changes. And the church doesn't want that everything changes, because not because of the faith they have in God, but because of money, power, status. As always, I totally agree with what's said in this episode, because even this episode can open your mind, can let you understand a different view of things. I want to connect myself with the Vinland Saga, because even in Vinland Saga, we reach a point of the story in which when Knuto wants to challenge God, I remember that even in that story, they are talking about how to appreciate the world we live in, and to focus on the world we live in without thinking that He, that is Almighty, can rule on us by putting us in a place where He's full of wars, full of genocides, full of everything, okay? Where is the beauty of this world? We should find it. Even if we don't believe in the world anymore, and we don't believe where we are right now, and we think that other places outside of this world are better, we shouldn't give up so easily. As soon as we give up and we give our faith to other people, and these people are ruling on us, we are done. We are dead. We shouldn't do that. We should be proud to live the present, to enjoy the present, to feel curious about what we are searching for now, without thinking what's after, because there's always a time to understand what's after. I mean, when we will die, we will discover it. But why do we have to think about it already now? It's a waste of time. Let's live here. Let's create something beautiful here. And that's exactly what even Thorfinn wanted to do, to create a perfect place. Let's not say perfect, let's say a beautiful place, full of problems. That's why it's not perfect. But anyway, a place where we can live peacefully, where we can appreciate what we have now, without thinking about what other people tells you to believe. This is absurd to me. That's why I don't believe in any religion. I just feel curious about discovering what the world is, and how the world is magnificent, and all the connections that we human beings have with nature surrounding us, or even with the universe. The universe can be even inside ourselves. I already told you this in the previous episode, because our mind can be our universe, or it can be a smaller reflection of what the universe is. So when we look at the stars and we are afraid of what it might be outside, how scary it could be outside, because we don't know, we shouldn't feel scared, because that's what they tell us to be scared of God, to be scared of death, to be scared that something happens to us, to be scared that we go to hell. See, all these negativity, all these negative impositions make us feel, okay, we have to believe in this, okay, I don't have to do this, otherwise I go to hell. See, our life is influenced, and we shouldn't be influenced by anything. We should be able to detach ourselves and think with our own mind, even if it's not easy. It's very difficult, but we should try, because if we don't try, we will never know. And even these men who had a miserable life, when he tried to attempt suicide, I mean, when he tried to end his own life, and he couldn't do it, that was a second chance that probably what's surrounding us, we call it universe, yeah, was giving him again. I mean, a second chance to restart. So he found something he was interested in. He was interested in the rotation of Mars, that is this other planet of our solar system. And he went on 2 years by being enthusiastic about these. He wanted to discover the rotation of Mars. So for 2 years he was going on and on and on to detect, to write on the paper, and he felt satisfied because he believed that that was a message from his family who died. But even in that case, even to believe these things, yeah, it could be true. Of course, we will never know until we die. We will never know where we go. We will never know the reality of things. But this hope that was created by these helped him to survive, helped him to go on instead of feeling miserable. Even if then, when he discovered that the rotation of Mars was not a perfect circle, he felt disappointed, and he felt as if he wasted his time, and he thought, oh, it's pointless to go on, because if it's not how I thought it was, okay, let's abandon it. That's wrong. I mean, it's not a waste of time, and he should have not given up so easily. Because even if things don't go as you want, you shouldn't give up. You should go on and try to find another way, or try to go on with that idea to see where it goes. I think that even Grass, who gave up so easily, made a mistake. But this is just my point of view. Of course, there are other people who think differently. What I wanted to say is that if we keep living with these preconcepts, don't create our independent opinion on things, then the risk is that when we reach the end of our lives, we will think, oh, did I waste my life or my time following something that didn't give me such a satisfaction as much as when I wanted to do the things that I liked to do? When the church keeps telling you what to do or what to believe in, first of all, you prefer to believe it even if you think the contrary, because if you follow what they say, you still hope about heaven. But second of all, you don't want to accept that there should be, or there might be, another version of the story. And when you know the other version of the story, first of all, you don't accept it. I told you already. You try to deny it as much as you can, because these installed preconcepts are going to fade away. They are gonna be banned from your mind because something new is starting. This curiosity is starting automatically and doesn't go away because it's something new. And when we know something new, the new thing is very amazing, is very fascinating, that you don't want to miss that point too. So your mind starts to have a fight, what you have always believed versus something new that it's coming. And what you have always believed is trying to fight to defend this opinion, because otherwise our mind can think, were we tricked for all this time? I think so. I really think so. There are some things in our society, and there are things that the church was always saying that were tricking us. And we were too ignorant, or we were too cowards to not contrast it. That's it. That's how it is. And we should not avoid this point of view. We should try to accept it. And when we accept that idea, our mind can extend itself. I think Raphael made a very courageous decision. He tried his best to dismantle all this scenario, everything that was concerning the church, even going inside his own existence, because if you do that, that's better from my point of view. I totally agree with these. I can connect myself even with the Shingeki no Kyojin. When they were talking about following what the church was saying and following everything that was already pre-ordered by the society itself. Yeah, it reminds me Kenny Ackerman, when he was saying that we are all slave of things, of something. And I totally agree with these two. In this case, in this story, people are slaves of the society. They are slaves of the church. They are slaves of their own thoughts created by institutions. And these thoughts can trick our mind, can establish a life that we didn't want to create. Because if we were born in another context with other rules, yeah, I've always thought about this. If we were born in a society where what we consider bad here in this can be considered good and vice versa, we were born in this society, so we have specific rules. But if we were born in another society with completely opposite rules, we would have followed the other rules. So see, we are deceivable. Everything can deceive us. So how can we do? I mean, how can we find a way to not be deceived? It's hard, but we have to try to step aside. I mean, to step away from many things they tell us and think about all of them and then make your own decision. That's something very hard to do. Yeah, another thing I want to say is that even in this episode, fear was created. See, when Oxy and his fellow, they were afraid that what they were doing was that risky. So Oxy was already starting asking himself, will few people go to heaven? So I have to pretend to be good because I also wanted to go to heaven. I am afraid to step on hell and whatsoever. So even these preconcepts of how many people will go to heaven, what do I have to do in order to go to heaven? See, it's like a book that is telling you what to do, and if you don't follow these, you are considered a heretic, or you're going to be burnt alive. That's too much. When church was playing on the fear of dying, church was winning. Then throughout the centuries, church decreased its power regarding these methods. I mean, to impose their ideas, and if you didn't follow them, you were going to hell or you were going to be burnt alive as a heretic. Now, these things changed. But even nowadays, if you don't follow these rules, they still believe you will go to hell. But the question is, who are they to tell you these? I mean, why you have to follow these people telling you these? Because it's written in the Bible? Okay, but who wrote the Bible? Are you sure that the Bible was written by God? We are not sure about that. So why are we following these? Why do we have to follow these statements? For sure, nothing is sure. By the way, last but not least, the man we saw in the tavern, yeah, I thought for a second that that was Rafal, or that he tried to find a way to escape from his destiny. Don't tell me, I mean, don't write me spoilers down below because I don't want to know. But the way he was interacting with these men, even the fact that he was saying, oh, look, you are too late to get in touch with these things or something like that. I mean, you should have started earlier to get in touch with these things or something like that. Yeah, but anyway, I don't want to say anything about that man until I see if my theory is correct, but I had the impression, that that man was Rafael because of his physical appearance, but also because of what he was saying, yeah, when he was talking in the tavern with these men, and but he had the feeling that he knew something, and let's see. Of course, we know from the from the previous episode that Rafael died, but okay, let me think about it in the future. Let's wait and see. Anyway, thank you so much for the support, and see you tomorrow with episode 5 of Orb on the movements of the Earth. For sure, I'm happy to follow this story, and I'm really glad that not only in Japan but even outside in the rest of the world this story was pretty successful. I'm very, very glad about it. And yeah, see you tomorrow. Thank you so much, and see you in the next video.